Welcome to another episode of the Hospitality Reputation Marketing Podcast. Get great reviews. My name's Adele Gutman and I'm your host. I have a long history of being able to coach general managers, directors of sales and marketing, and hotel owners on how to have fantastic reviews on Tripadvisor and every other site. I had the pleasure of having one hotel as the number one hotel in the world on Tripadvisor and the number one hotel in New York, number two, number three, and number four, all four hotels in a row among hundreds of hotels in New York on Tripadvisor. And once we had three hotels on the top of the list in the USA for the Tripadvisor Travelers Choice Awards in the entire country. So I know what it takes to make that happen. It takes a lot of alignment from the team and a lot of great management. And I wanted to talk to other people who have had same or even higher success. So today I am going to have part two of talking about the Nantucket Hotel and Resort. At the Nantucket Hotel and Resort, the general manager is Jamie Holmes, and he just can't help keeping his hotel right on the very top of the top 25 list, not just on the list, but either in the number one, number two, or number three position. So there is something going on at that hotel that I really want to get to the bottom of. We had the pleasure already of speaking with the owner, Gwenn Snider, but this time I wanted to hear from the general manager himself how he makes the magic happen at the Nantucket Hotel and Resort. Welcome, Jamie.
Hello, Adele.
So nice to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so much for letting me talk to you. I'm excited, and we love our business and we love our industry, and we wouldn't be in it if it wasn't a passion that we had. And I'm honored that you want to find out what I do on a daily basis to try to get my team fired up and taking care of our guests.
Thank you. And I am so happy to have you here. I feel too that everybody who enters the hospitality industry has somewhere in their heart, even just a kernel of that desire to be successful, make guests happy, feel appreciated for all their efforts that they make to make sure the guests are comfortable. And yet so many people feel very stressed, especially now. This past year of COVID has been so challenging for so many reasons. And then on top of it, um, trying to show up and be warm and loving and nurturing to our guests, compassionate, kind, and flexible. It's not that easy. It takes someone at the top who is constantly reminding the team why we're in it and how to advance our skills in de-stressing our guests. So I think you're probably an expert, the champion expert at de-stressing guests. And I'd love to hear, how do you inspire your team to do the same?
Well, Adele, last year was a really tough time for the whole hospitality industry, but as you can see with a little bit of gray hair, I've been around for a while. We had to deal with 9/11. We had to deal with the stock market crash. We had to deal with bombing Iraq a couple of times. And what I said to my team last year when it was looking really bad, I said, if you think America's over, then just give up. But if you think that this is some hard times we're going to go through, but on the other side of it, America is going to be the place to be, and we're going to be the place that greets them and brings them back out of the situation, then let's just make a plan. And we made a plan for the pandemic, and it wasn't easy. Revenues were down, and it was hard to keep everybody fully employed. And they were worried about their health, and they were worried about their own well-being, not just about making a paycheck. And I can tell you that, I feel for all the first responders, and I feel for all the people in medical facility, But my guess is that a waiter and a waitress was more directly impacted by one-on-one, interaction with a customer than any other field. So we told them that. So you're on the front line dealing with a customer every day. But we said we need to make the customer relax. If we're uptight, they're going to feel it. And if we don't deliver on our promise, because we have a promise, every one of our employees has a promise to deliver at the very highest level, and we believe we can. And if we don't deliver during the bad times, they won't be here during the good times.
Absolutely. I would love to hear more about the promise. Is it is the promise something you put in writing? Is it something that you talk about? I think that I read somewhere recently, I think it was Bain and Company had a survey that said that 80% of companies believe that they're delivering and exceeding the guest or the customer expectations, but only 8% of customers believed that the brands were actually delivering on the promise. That's a very sad state, but it's also an opportunity for people like you and other general managers and hotel owners and directors of sales and marketing to really outshine the competition.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I think I'm lucky because I didn't start out getting a degree in hotel. I have a degree in zoology from the University of Florida, but I worked my way through college working in a hotel, and I found that that was my calling and my passion. So because of that, I didn't have preconceived knowledge on how it was supposed to work. So I had to learn, and I had to figure out what is the very best way to be successful. And I can tell you, as a general manager, it's much easier taking care of your guests if you have really great staff. So a long time ago, I learned my main goal is to put a team together that's really nice people, that's willing to learn and get excited. Like I'll tell you, like a hostess should be like a golden retriever puppy, just so happy to see you that the minute you go in the restaurant, they almost start wiggling. And I know that, maybe a little over the top, but we talk in terms of passion. We talk in terms of having raving fans. We talk in terms of delivering on every level. And when you do that, the staff start to believe in it. And when the customers see it and they respond to it, then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, that is so true. I definitely feel that the more the guests are thanking our teams for being so great to them, and the more that we're saying, wow, look at you being so great to the guests, you're a hospitality hero, the more we're telling them how successful they are, and they see their reviews on TripAdvisor, they just want to do more. They just want to extend themselves more and more. Every time you appreciate someone for what they did, it's addictive.
Yeah.
It's
You,
absolutely addictive.
and you were talking about TripAdvisor. We've done it extremely well on TripAdvisor. Luckily, I was, been in the right end of the market. I ran the Ritz-Carlton in St. Thomas, and we were at the top of TripAdvisor there. I ran Nisbet Plantation in the Caribbean, and we were the top of TripAdvisor. And we also won awards like Condé Nast Traveler and Travel and Leisure. At one time, the Ritz-Carlton was the number one hotel in Travel and Leisure, number one hotel in Condé Nast Traveler, and same with Nisbet Plantation that I ran in the same year, and the number one hotel. But what it comes from is, you asked me, do we have a vision? We have a written vision. We have a contract to serve our customers. And when we do orientation, we hire people, we tell them right up front that we have this really high expectation. And we tell them that we already selected you. We didn't just hire you. We selected you because we figure that you had the ability and the personality and the desire to deliver at this level. We also don't look for just really outgoing people. We look for sincere people with a high level of integrity that are self-starters. So not everybody can, be like a game show host. You need all types, and the engineers need to be detail oriented, and the chefs need to have a passion, but they don't have to be able to go out and talk to every customer. Some are good at that and some aren't. So we tell them right up front that our expectation is to be world class, and we ask them, have you ever been on a winning team? And if they say yes, we say, well, then you know how exciting it is. If they say no, then we say, well, if you get selected, you're going to be on one, and you're going to find out how exciting it is to be on a winning team. And it makes a difference when you go to work every day knowing you're on a winning team.
100% true. 100% true. And I think that when someone is on a winning team and they feel that they're doing something important, that they're putting out some good in the world, they
Mhm.
have some purpose to everything that they do. I think that they're far less likely to switch over to another property
Right.
because they're offering them a few more dollars, because life is about a lot more than the paycheck. Actual job satisfaction comes from feeling appreciated, respected, creatively expressed,
Mhm.
feeling challenged to reach their full potential. And I think that people love to see that they're growing. And do you train on the job daily, or do you do it sporadically as a group? And do you elevate your people from within?
Well, Adele, yes to all of those. But I think, as we said before, you got to meet Gwenn Snider, and hopefully someday you'll meet her husband, Mark. They're the owners of this property, and they have a absolutely lovely three group of properties, one here, one in Martha's Vineyard, which is the top hotel in Martha's Vineyard, and they just launched what's going to be the top hotel in the Virgin Islands as well. But they come weekly, and they talk to the staff, and they reinforce, and they're out there. And then I'm here daily working with the staff, talking to them. And because we're a small independent hotel, we don't have all the rules on a book on the shelf. We're creating them as we go. We're evolving and developing with our people, and we're having daily lineups with the people, telling them what's happening today. Like last night, we had 13 of the top meeting planners from Boston. We hosted them for dinner, had a private dinner. But before we did that, we went to all the staff and said, these people are coming here as our guests because we want them to pick us the next time they want to have a wedding, the next time they want to have a corporate group, the next time one of their friends says, where should you use as a venue on the island of Nantucket? And we hosted them. We gave them a tour. We set up picnics for them on the beach, and we made it so it was easy. But it was because the staff understood why we were doing the sales job. And then last night we dined under the stars with space heaters, and it was just glorious. But it was because the staff knew that they were all contributing to our future success by, really delighting these people who could send us a wedding. And our weddings are up to 200 people, and you can imagine in a 44 suite hotel, a 200 person wedding is a huge impact on our revenue stream. And the staff know that that's a big impact on their gratuity payout too. So they buy into the fact. But I look at a wedding as almost a paid fam. You have an affluent bride and groom who decide to have a wedding with us. Who are they going to invite? All of their like-minded and socioeconomic friends and family, that we get a chance to get them to fall in love with us, and maybe they'll have an event with us.
That's so smart. So basically, you're saying that everyone who works at the Nantucket Hotel and Resort is part of the sales and marketing team.
They are, and they also are very, because we're not so structured, each position helps each position, because we've taught them that you have external guests, obviously your customers and your club members and your, wedding planners, but we have internal guests, which is each department is serving each department, and we have to help each other. And when it gets really busy, if you don't have enough people in one area, which last year it was hard to go from being really slow to being really busy, everybody helps everybody, and they understand that their contribution to another department isn't, I have to do two jobs. It's I'm helping the overall business be successful.
Yes, I love that philosophy. I always say that we all only have one job, which
Mhm.
is making sure our guests leave happy.
Yeah.
And as long as we're doing that, our main role may be that I'm checking in people and handing the keys, but it's really not that transaction that
Hmm.
I'm here for. I'm here to make sure that they feel welcome, appreciated, and respected, and so happy to be here, whatever I can do. And I think actually that if positioned the right way, the way you said it, then people feel even more capable because and more entrepreneurial spirit because they know they're starting to learn how the whole operation works, and that gives them an advantage if they want to advance in their career.
Yeah, it does. And I can tell you, Adele, when you asked, because you wanted to know why we were doing so well, like on TripAdvisor, when I look at TripAdvisor, the only way to influence those reviews is to deliver to the customer. You can't pay them, you can't give them anything, you can't write them yourself. So what the customer is saying is, we purchased a vacation at your hotel, and the review we're giving you is a reflection of whether you delivered on your promise. Because there's fancier hotels than us, there's bigger hotels than us, there's ones with all kinds of over the top services. But your TripAdvisor review is, I stayed there, I ordered this, I experienced this, I left, and this is my feeling on the value proposition, whether I received it or not. And that really makes the difference. And some of the things we do to make, because we are small and independent, we can craft our delivery. We have a handwritten note to every single guest who arrives. And we have a crafted box of chocolates that are chocolate covered cranberries, because Nantucket is famous for our cranberries. And then if you're having, we ask you, are you having a special occasion? And we ask you, and if you say yes, then we already build in an amenity that reflects that occasion. You're having an anniversary, probably, a bottle of Prosecco. You're having a birthday, maybe a branded hat. You're having a baby moon, pull the Prosecco, because you may not be able to do that. So we deliver a personalized amenity if you give us a handle to deliver to. If you just say, I'm coming here to have fun, then we still give you the personalized note and the chocolates for every single guest. We also believe in rooming every guest. No guest ever goes to their room without one of our staff member going there to the room with them and engaging them all the way there and all the way back. We also send a survey to every guest who leaves the very day they leave, not a week later, the exact day, because we want their feedback immediately. And our staff are trained to say, I hope you had a great stay. Is there one thing we could have done better? Because they usually, oh, we were so happy, we loved it. And then we say, well, that is great. We want you to be happy. But is there one thing we could have done better? And that pulls that out. And then when we send those surveys, every single survey that comes back, we write a personal response. Thank you for filling out the survey. And whatever they talk about, they may say Wayne in the restaurant was the greatest guy in the world. Then I'll write back and say, thank you so much for staying here. Guests like you are a pleasure to serve. We're so glad that you got to experience Wayne's special hospitality. We think he's great too. Or if they say the air conditioner clicked in room 38, we say, well, we really appreciate you telling us that. And we're going to jump on that right away. And by sharing with that, the next guest is going to have a better stay. So whatever it is, we craft a response to every single review. We also respond to every single Tripadvisor review through Tripadvisor, not back to the customer, because as you very know, being an expert on Tripadvisor, they all have a handle. The name on Tripadvisor isn't their name, it's whatever name that they wanted to. So we believe in crafting our response to the customer. And we're very quick. If you call us and leave a voicemail, it's answered every day. You email us, it's answered every day. You want to have a wedding with us, you have a response the same day. And the response may be, let me check and I'll get back to you. It's not like here's a full proposal, because if you want to have a wedding, we got to find out what your needs are. I can't just give you a canned proposal. I have to find out when and how big and what sort of an event that you were looking for and what is your dream. And we ask them that when they come, the brides and the groom. We say, what is your dream? And then let them tell us.
That's wonderful. A lot of people believe that they're doing reputation management because they had the night auditor respond to their reviews with template responses.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it's so obvious when you're doing that. And it actually pains me sometimes when I hear a comment like, the radiator clicked on in room 503 or whatever it is. And, oh, I'll be sure to let that department know. As if it's somebody else's problem. But it's
Right.
so much more wonderful to say, I had the engineer check that room, found the problem and fixed it. Thanks so much for letting us know. It feels so great to know, especially from the general manager or someone in management, that it's really being fixed, not, I'm going to pass it off to somebody else.
Right.
It's so common. So who actually does it? You
Well,
probably are very busy.
no,
If it's not yourself, who actually is writing the review?
well, it's myself,
It
but
is.
also I have a fully empowered team. And when we get those reviews back, and because, computer system is much better today, every one of my managers and both of my owners see every review. It comes in their inbox as an email, every single review. So, if I wanted to pretend like everything was great, but my managers are all reading them and my owners are reading them, you can't pretend for too long because they're reading the same thing that the customer is saying. And Adele, if it's anything worse than a clicking radiator, which we don't have radiators, but air conditioning, we also pick up the phone. You tell me that something was wrong. We don't write you an email. We don't send you a text. We dial the phone and we say, Adele, I understand that you had an issue. I want to know about it. I'm sorry that it happened. It's not acceptable, and we're going to take care of that. But we do not send an email if it's anything, that, like, I ordered something and I never got it, or they didn't clean my room today, or I had on a do not disturb sign and they came in. If we actually did something that caused the customer to be truly, upset, and they put it in any survey or tell us, we pick up the phone. And, a lot of people nowadays, when you say call someone, they still text them. And I keep telling my staff, Texting somebody isn't calling them, that's texting them. And if I
Yes.
don't get them, I leave them a voicemail, and they don't have to call me back. They're the customer, it's their time, they paid. But they're so impressed that we do that emotional deposit that we reached out to them and put ourselves out there to hear what they really have to say. And they'll tell you. And they experience the vacation, not you.
Especially someone at a high level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It makes such a big difference. Sometimes we don't actually know the name of the guest from the TripAdvisor review because it's an anonymous name, and
Right.
sometimes we can figure it out because they had this many kids and they stayed in that month, and or they
Mm-hmm.
were there that weekend, or they mentioned they had a 5 night stay. So we're able to put all those pieces together to figure it out. But sometimes we just can't. And in that case, what I do is you can send a private message to
Mm-hmm.
that person saying, I'm the general manager or the owner or the vice president of the company, and I was really saddened to hear what happened to you, and I'd like to get to the bottom of it. May I call you? Here's my number. Here's my email, and please let us know how we can chat with you to actually make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else. And not everybody answers, but the majority really appreciate just the fact that you cared enough
Mm-hmm.
to contact them. And it makes such a difference. And very often, just in the conversation with that person, when they realize that it was truly a mistake and we're taking ownership of it without asking them to do so, they will just take off the bad review
Right.
because or just modify. Sometimes they'll just modify the review because they have a different perspective about how compassionate we are and how caring we are about our guests. They took it as an offense, as though we didn't care about them, and then they realized it was maybe just something that happened, and that we really did care, and they would try us again. So, and actually, I've had people say to me after seeing a response to a 1 star review at a hotel that normally gets 5 stars, uh, they've actually said, "You were so compassionate and so caring in your response that I actually canceled my reservation from someone else and booked it with you because I know you'll take care of me." I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing, we're completely independent. We're not associated with any group other than our own group, which is called Little Gem Resort. So keep an eye out for that, because we have three little gems that everybody should want to go to. And there's enough time in the year to go to all three. That's a hint. So
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Where in the Virgin Islands is the new hotel going to be?
it's on Livongo Key, which is a stone's throw from St. John in the Virgin Islands, which is the most beautiful place, surrounded by to die for waters. And we run a boat from St. Thomas and St. John daily. And currently, you can rent one of our villas, or you can come for the day to our private beach club, or you can bring your own yacht and dine with us. And the lobster tacos are to die for. So put that on your list of things to do in the Caribbean. And our drink menu is the best. They have painkillers and pina coladas and everything that you would love to have while you're swashbuckling on your yacht.
Well, I think everybody deserves a wonderful Virgin Islands and a Nantucket and a Martha's Vineyard vacation after all of this that we've been through this year. Before I let you go, I wanted you to speak to the the general managers, the hotel owners, the directors of sales and marketing, or the aspiring to be a future general managers out there, and say, how has this changed the way you do business? It sounds like you've actually been doing work this way all the time, but what do you think is the benefit to really inspiring your team to give their utmost every day. How do you do it? A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't have the time to train the team well, or to communicate that much, or to pay attention to every negative review." What do you say to them? I think it's easier to run a hotel in this system the way you're describing it. Um, Tell
Well,
me what you think.
well,
And is it financially worth it?
oh, it totally is, and anybody who's been in the business for a while knows how expensive it is to get a new customer. It's so much less expensive to get a repeat customer and get their family and their friends. And our goal is to make people loyal guests. And when they're loyal and you make a mistake, they'll defend you and they'll even help you and they'll come see you and they'll say, Jamie, we love this place, but you need to do something about this. That room 38's my favorite room and the chair's wobbling. You got to fix that, because they feel like they're partnering with you on making certain their vacation is good. Our customers want our hotel to be good because they want to have a place that they can go and feel at home. We also look at Tripadvisor as one of the number one places we get new customers. When you're going to a destination, Nantucket has no chains. How do you know which hotel to stay at? You go on something like Tripadvisor and you say, well, who's getting the best ratings? What are the customers saying? Oh, the reviews say that they're really nice and really welcoming and the food is good and the rooms are clean. Boy, that must be the one to go to. And like you said, if someone's not happy and they read the review and they see a very genuine response to it, I think our customer is smart enough to know that not every experience is going to be perfect, but the response to it is the most important. It doesn't take a lot of time to talk to your staff. It doesn't take a lot of time to communicate to your staff. My staff are so busy, they don't have time for me to stand around and talk to them all day. They want to know what's going on. They want to know what they're doing right. They want to know how they can do it better. They want to know that if they need something, I'm going to get it for them. And if they really need help, I'm going to help them. And then they want me to get out of the way so they can go ply their trade, because they know what to do. My chefs know how to cook. My waiters know how to wait. My bartenders will create a cocktail with your name on it. They don't need me to manage them to do that. And they have fun. My drivers get to know the guests. They don't just drive them to drive them. They drive them to talk to them. Yeah. So
You know what? If everybody knows that the goal is to make lifetime customers, make friends for life that will come again and again, and that will share their wonderful stories with their friends, their family members, their business associates, and hopefully the world on reviews like TripAdvisor, Google, or any other place. It doesn't matter how they share their stories. The most important thing is they are bringing other people to you. And when they know that that's their vision, they will bring so much personal creativity and imagination and passion for hospitality. They'll do things you could never, ever have possibly trained them. And other people will see it, and it just grows and grows. And it's such a wonderful circle of uh, as you make guests happy, they make the staff happy. They make the owners happy. They make the finances happy. Everything works better. And not only is it cheaper to retain a guest, but it's so much more affordable to retain your employees. How much money the hospitality industry spends on replenishing, trying to attract new people to replace the people who left, and replace them again and replace them again and train them again, when you can have a well-oiled machine with people who feel appreciated and not tempted to go someplace else.
Yeah,
Don't you find that?
no, I completely agree. This is probably the tightest labor market that I've ever been in my career. And that's why it's so important to take care of your staff. And if you have happy guests and happy staff, then they're having fun coming to work. And our job as managers is not to turn them off, it's to turn them on. But we need to hire people who are already able to be motivated, not people that you have to try to, move along. You just need to find the ones in the beginning, select the right ones.
Yes, if they're excited by the mission of making people happy, even if they're introverted people or not very um, used to being very socially active, but if they truly in their heart want to make sure that that guest is happy, you can absolutely train them and coach them and give them the tools and the training and the freedom from fear to express themselves and to do the best that they can to make people happy, and it works out wonderfully. I One thing I loved most about our conversation today is that you are always bringing up the evolution, the continuous improvement.
Mhm.
Just because you were 5 years ago at the top of the list in the whole country on TripAdvisor doesn't mean that sat on your laurels.
Mhm.
You continue to listen, take that feedback, fix something, and just get a little bit better every day. And that is the way to evolving success. And don't you think that guests today have very different uh, needs and desires and expectations of what they want? But you will always be ahead of that because you're always listening to your team and to your guests. So I really want to thank you so much for being our guest today, Jamie. It was just wonderful chatting with you.
Well, thank you, Adele. I really appreciate it. And if there's any managers or anybody in the industry that wants to get a hold of me, they're perfectly welcome to connect me through LinkedIn or just call the hotel because my front desk puts people right through to my cell phone. That's one of the things. All of our business cards at the Nantucket Hotel have the manager's cell phone on it. They don't have like an office number because we don't just sit around in the office anyway. And if a customer wants to tell us something, we want to know now. We don't want to know when they're gone. If someone wants to say they're happy or unhappy or need something, tell me now. That's why we come to work every day, is to figure out what it is they want.
So smart and
Yeah,
clearly so successful.
yeah.
Congratulations once again, and I hope we have the chance to meet in person sometime when I visit your hotel.
Get our branding on, and our staff love it. Work here, and we make certain that we take good care of them because I was lucky enough to meet lots of very influential people in the business, and they'll keep reminding you. Bill Marriott will tell you, and Richard Branson and Jay Van Andel and Rich DeVos, Mark and Gwenn Snider, the top people in the industry will tell you if you take care of your staff, they'll take care of the guests, and the guests will take care of the owners, and hopefully the owners will take care of the managers. But keep that going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much once again, Jamie. It's just been wonderful chatting with you. And I'll see you in Nantucket sometime,
All
I'm
right,
sure.
thank you, Adele.
Take care.
All
Thanks
right,
so
take
much.
care.
Wasn't that a wonderful conversation? Listening to every single guest feedback and taking the moment to think about what is it that we can do better and actually doing it, inspiring your team to be part of a winning team that always wants to do the right thing and make people happy, and asking your team, what can I do for you? What is it that you need to be successful? And then really being there for them. Having those daily meetings where you're talking about what happened yesterday, what's about to happen today, what can we do to make everybody's day a little bit better? How can we work as a team? How can we help each other? These are all principles that always work. And if you want to learn more how to apply these principles at your hotel, if you want me to help coach you, I definitely have done this before, and I definitely there for you if you ever need any help. please reach out to me through my website, adelegutman.com. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Hospitality Reputation Marketing Podcast. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you took away some tips that will get you started towards great reviews and great revenue. If you like what we're doing, please do hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast, and share with your friends. Even write a review for us. I can't tell you how much I would appreciate it if you let people know, especially me, let me know how you're enjoying it. And if there's any particular topic that you'd like us to talk about more in the future. Remember, I'm really here for you. If you want to send me any comments or questions, or just share with me any troubles that you're having with getting great reviews, and I will try to address it in the podcast or to you personally. Don't forget to reach out to me on adelegutman.com. Thank you once again for taking the time to listen, and I'll look forward to seeing you all again soon.